forward to this.
What's up everyone, how's it going? So last week I did a video on what heroes I believe are going to be coming next, if we even get any. So I thought it'd be fitting to just make another video on what maps I think we're going to be getting, if we're going to even be getting any other maps. But before I get started on that, we actually just hit 10,000 subscribers on the day that Anakin came out. That was when I predicted that we would hit 10,000, and that's what we did. So thank you all so much for the support. It's been crazy these past few months for the channel, and me and my friend Clues over on Twitter have been talking, and we are wanting to start releasing some merchandise for the channel. It's not going to be anything too crazy. If you know who he is, I'll put up some pictures of some of his artwork right now. He's a great artist and it's really unique, so I'm wanting to make some shirts and hoodies and maybe even hats or whatever using his artwork, and basically we're just going to split the revenue from it. But it's just something I've always wanted to do for the channel. So if any of you are interested in purchasing something like that, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. I don't know when these things will be released to the public. We're going to start talking about designs next week, so either tomorrow or the next day. But yeah, that's just something I want to throw out there. So let's get started right in the video, and then at the end, I'm also going to be going over top comments. I think I'm just going to be doing this every weekend or so stay tuned for that. But back on to any new maps. So at the moment, we have no idea if we're going to even be getting anything new. Personally though, I believe that we will be getting either 1 or 2 new maps for Star Wars Battlefront 2. I hope at least, because maps are one of the most important parts in a video game, because it's the main thing you're doing. Like, yeah, heroes are awesome and all that, but new maps are like the core base of the game. Same with like weapons and then different troopers and stuff. So new maps, there's so many to choose from, but personally, I would really love to see Utapau make its way into the game. That's a favorite among most people, and it would just be so fitting, especially for the new large-scale game mode, because you can have all the vendors and stuff in that wide open area. And of course it was featured in Revenge of the Sith, and if you don't remember, whenever General Grievous and Obi-Wan were about to fight, a bunch of clone troopers came in, and then there was just vendors everywhere and LAATs shooting everything, and it was just a huge battle. So I think it would fit really well for the new game mode, because that game mode is supposed to feature capital ships and all that. But not only that, it's actually a really unique place in Star Wars, one of the most unique planets in the whole saga in my opinion. So I think it'd be really cool to see that under the Frostbite engine. And you can maybe even have that lizard thing that Obi-Wan was riding throughout the movie before he attacked General Grievous, and then whenever he was chasing him down. I don't remember the name of him, but I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool to have him featured in it. And also that it would be really cool to recreate the battle between Obi-Wan and General Grievous from Revenge of the Sith. So those are kind of my main points on why I think Utapau should be in it. It's a really unique place. It would work perfectly for the new game mode, which I believe it was Charlemagne that said that he does expect it to eventually replace Galactic Assault in terms of the main game mode that everyone plays as a majority. So that's really good news for the game mode, because that's something I've always wanted, is something like Conquest that is the main game mode. But I'm also kind of worried about that, because he said it will eventually replace. So that makes me think that there's only going to be 2 or 3 maps whenever it first releases, but I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope it's got at least 6 or 7 maps in it when it releases, but who knows, we'll just have to wait and see, because that game mode does release this month, and I believe the community transmissions for this game mode's update should come out in the next 3 weeks or so I'll be on the lookout for that, and I will make a video on those when they do release. But let's get back onto maps, and another one that I would love to see is a fan favorite by everyone. That of course is Coruscant. Now I know this is something that everyone has been expecting to come eventually, but I gotta be real, personally I do not see it making its way into Star Wars Battlefront 2 for various reasons. The main reason is because of how huge it is. I mean, it would take so long for DICE to create that in this game, because it's just a large city, unless of course they want to do something similar to the original Battlefront 2, where they just make Coruscant inside the Jedi Temple Guard, which I would be completely fine with, and I can actually see that coming for like heroes versus villains and then blasts and all that. So I think they could make that work, but personally I don't see the actual city of Coruscant getting put into the game, just because of how long it would take to make. Maybe if they create Battlefront 3 for the next gen consoles, they could do something like that when they have the full dev team, because right now I believe they have around 100, it's like 90 to 100 developers working on the live service for this game, and then those developers are just split up into a bunch of different departments, so it kind of spaces out a little bit. So I personally don't think that's enough to create a whole Coruscant map, but I hope they can prove me wrong, unless they want to take like the entire year and then just release it at the very end of the live service. We'll just have to wait and see though. But I do think they could very well make the Jedi Temple as a map for Heroes vs. Villains and Blast, and they could even maybe make it with the new game mode. All they would have to do is just take out the whole capital ship part and just make it a Conquest style mode for that map. And then they could also do an Order 66 mode, which is something that a lot of people have been requesting, where like there's a ton of clones and then there's a very few people that are Jedi, and then one person gets to play as Anakin, or I guess Darth Vader in this case, and you have to hunt them down. So I think it'd be kind of a cool concept for this game. But then the last map on my list is going to be Mustafar. Mustafar. This is something that I've been wanting for a very long time now, and it was featured in the original Battlefront 2, and I think they did it perfectly, and it could work for Blast, Heroes vs. Villains, maybe the new game mode, depending on how they do it. It's just such a cool looking planet, and it would be a good way to introduce a mode that I've always wanted, which would be lightsaber duel mode, where it's basically a 1v1 lightsaber heroes and villains only. I think that would be really awesome to come with Mustafar, so you can recreate Anakin versus Obi-Wan. They could take inspiration from the Revenge of the Sith game, where you can do Obi-Wan versus Obi-Wan if you wanted to. It didn't matter who you were, you could be anyone you want, but I already made a whole video talking about that dual mode concept, so link for that will be in the description below. So yeah, those are my top 3 maps that I'd love to see in this game: Mustafar, Coruscant, and then Utapau. Geonosis was always my number 1, and I'm so glad to see that we did get it, and DICE had created it perfectly. It feels like a huge battle from Star Wars, so I'm really glad to see that they made that really well. So comment down below your top maps that you want to see, just either your top 3 or just your number 1 map that you want to see. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So let's go on to top comments now. And the first one comes from a user called Dark Void, and he said, "I wonder if there's any hidden dialogue with Ahsoka somewhere in the files. If you find any, let us know." And I did look in the files, and so did a lot of other people. I even searched the RAM, and unfortunately none of us could find anything regarding any new content that's coming. I did find the word domination a lot, so my guess is the new game mode is going to be titled Galactic Domination, something around there. But I didn't find anything about Ahsoka, nothing about Republic Commandos or whatever the new reinforcements are. So that doesn't mean nothing new is coming. That just means that DICE is doing a really good job at hiding things from everyone from searching the files, because if you don't remember when the game first came out, people found so many new things in the files. I mean, they found a whole skeleton of General Grievous, which everyone was like, oh shoot, General Grievous is going to be coming in the next few months, and he came out like the whole next year. So DICE has done a really good job at hiding everything. It kind of sucks for us though, because it's really fun to go in the files and find different things. But yeah, nothing new in there besides that word, which that could be something completely different. I'm not confirming that the game mode is called Galactic Domination. That's just my guess. But whenever Grievous was released, there were voice lines in the files of General Grievous talking to Ahsoka as well as Padme in the files. That does not confirm that they are going to be coming in Star Wars Battlefront 2, but that does confirm that DICE is thinking about adding them at some point. So those files have been removed, but that doesn't mean anything. That just means that they took them out because they didn't want people to find them again. So the next comment comes from my Anakin video, and it's from Sosaman OTF, and he said, "They slowed him down way too much, as old animations were lightning fast compared to this." And they are slowed down just a bit, but honestly, Anakin is so powerful. Some say he's actually really OP, and I kind of agree with the whole OP part, because his heroic might can instant kill any hero. So it's a little bit unbalanced. I think all they have to do is nerf that ability just a little bit, maybe make it up to like 600 hit points, even that's a lot, and then decrease the range just a little bit. As for his animations, I think they're fine. He can one-shot all infantry with upgraded star cards, so I think it's okay that his lightsaber swings are a little bit slower. They're not as slow as Grievous, but they're not as fast as like Luke's or Rey's, so I think it's a perfect balance in between. But the next comment comes from the same video, and it's from a user called Xenon, and he said, "They should most definitely add in Mustafar and a cool custom 1v1 game mode that features any hero or villain to be played, meaning that hero characters can go against other heroes and then villains can go against villains." And that's funny, that's exactly what I was talking about in this video coming with Mustafar, and then also what I talked about in my lightsaber duel mode concept video. I completely agree with you. I think it'd be just a really fun game mode. It doesn't have to be 100% canon, because this game already has things that just aren't canon, like Rey can fight on Naboo against droids. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, because at the end of the day, this is a game and it is for fun, so it doesn't have to be 100% serious. So I think it'd be really fun to have that mode. But yeah, thanks for a comment. And then the next one comes from a user called The Palpatine, and I like his profile picture, and he commented, "Anakin's opening theme, they should have kept that music rolling." And that's something I've really wanted in this game, is the hero music to just keep going on for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, not the whole round, because in the original Battlefront 2, the hero music that you played as went on for the entire time that you were playing as that hero. So just imagine playing as Anakin and having Battle of the Heroes play for like 3 or 4 minutes. I think it would be really awesome feature that be added into this game, because right now the intro themes are like 5 or 6 seconds long, and then it just stops, and it's kind of underwhelming a little bit, especially because of how cool Star Wars music is. But then the next comment comes from a user called CJED, and he says, "Anakin is way too OP, changed my mind." I don't think he's super OP. I mean, he is at the moment because of his heroic might ability. All they have to do is tone that down just a little bit, then everything else would be completely fine in my opinion. But you can go ahead and let me know what you think about that, because heroic might, it just has such a large range, and then it does so much damage that it's pretty much impossible to run away, even if you're a fast lightsaber hero like Darth Maul. But everything else about him seems pretty balanced in my opinion. And then that's gonna actually do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, comment down below what maps you want to see and why you want to see them, and then you will have a chance on being featured in the next video that I do top comments on. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. If you are new, be sure and subscribe for more Star Wars news, gameplay, and more, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next one.